Welcome to the Lemon Pound Cake Happy Birthday Stevie Boy edition. Finer than wine at 49, baby. Today, we will chat about the current state of your Cincinnati Bengals, the NFL draft, offense, man. The offense matters. Nobody's talking about the Bengals offense. We will. Coming up next.
Brotherhood of the Bengal. Brotherhood of the Bengal. In the river fog we gather, striped and bound by autumn air. Hands on hearts we share the stories of the claws and of the legs.
What's up? Happy birthday, boy. What's going on, my friend?
Thank you, my brother. Not much. Just another day, but
Another day.
Yeah.
That's what I always
I'll
say.
probably be receiving a lot of texts and a lot of happy birthday. So thank you.
What, you egomaniac here?
Uh,
Talking about how many friends you got and everything?
I've
Man.
already received two.
Two. Well, it's only 9 something, right?
Right.
We're 33 days away from the draft,
We
homeboy.
are.
33 days away.
Not 49.
Not 49. 49. So, Afroman, lemon pound cake. We are here in, we're what, 5 minutes from where it all went down, Stevie Boy, or less, depending on if you get the light or not. Adams County, Ohio. We're famous again, Steve, but it's never for the good things.
Never for the good thing.
Of course, I guess some people were saying this is a good thing. Maybe it is. So, pretty funny. If I could have found some lemon pound cake, we would have had it sitting out here for your birthday, celebrating, as Afroman would say, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. We're out here doing it right now.
We are.
We can say whatever we
Not really.
not really. We can't
Not
say
really.
whatever we want. Good. That's probably good for us, so we can't.
Yes.
I think it would backfire. So
Yes, it would.
we got a lot to talk about today, Home Fry. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Really?
Oh, sure.
Is it your birthday or what? Is that what
it-
got you going on?
Yeah, I'm excited to be here and talk about our Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right. Very clever by him. That whole thing's pretty funny if you watched it. So, moving on, but we're going to go off topic as we typically do to start it. For you hockey fans out there, and I'm sure some of you are, the Columbus Blue Jackets right now, you seen that?
I have not.
So they were expected, I don't know if they expected to make the playoffs fair. They're a young building team with some good young draft picks and some older guys in there that have been there for a while. Didn't live up to expectations. So 25, 30 games ago, they fired the coach. I mean, it's his first year there. And they're like, we're done with this. They bring in, I can't think of his name right now, and I know the guy. He's coached forever, but he's like 70 or something. He comes in, dude, a tear's not even the word for it. It's unbelievable. They're beating good teams, and they're not just beating, they're taking it to them. So right now, it looked like, they're going to make the wild card. I've been saying that. Right now, they're not just in the wild card. They're in the top 3 in the division to get in. Play tonight. So this is going to be fun, man. I'd love to get a playoff ticket, sir. Playoffs are really expensive, right? Really expensive, but I'll be watching.
Yeah.
It's fun. Hockey in person is hard to beat. So go see BJ. Pulling for you. My Edmonton Oilers are going to make it too, probably, but Dreisaitl's out. So hockey playoffs means it tired me, man. Tired me. I watched so much of it. Tired me. So Cincinnati Redlegs, staying off topic. We're less than a week till opening day, Steve. Are you excited yet? I kind of am.
I am. Here in the whatever the last 2-3 years, it's just the sport has changed so much. I've talked about it in the past. It's tough. There's nothing like opening day in Cincinnati.
It's gonna be fun.
I think they're going to be pretty good. Their pitching should be right there. If McLean comes out of spring training,
He's raking right now.
raking, and he's been pretty consistent. You know what I mean? You'll see players get hot, and just like regular, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get pitchers who haven't put in the pitches and the time.
It's different.
And you rake early on, and then they start to get in a groove too, right? But he's staying pretty hot, so
Hopefully good weather.
A couple guys has had some good springs. Pitching, it sucks about Green, but
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
It may, I mean, it matters. It always matters. But if they get the staff like we think they're going to be, and he comes back in whenever, end of May, whatever they're saying, I mean, that might be. I think you got a shot being really good. I'm a purist. I wish, I people have arguing with it. Well, what about the parade? I was like, you have no sense of history, which is typically when you talk to anybody about sports that don't know sports, they'll say stuff, and you're like, that's not. Baseball was it was the national championship game was that night. Baseball would open on that Monday, and it'd be the Reds at 1:00.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, how would you do the parade?" They did it forever.
Yeah.
And now they were the only game in that slot. They were the first game. That's why I like that better. I like the earlier game. And then just from a common sense standpoint, if it rains or something, you got time to get it in. Something happens. And also, like if you just wanted to go where you abandon all tradition, you know what I would do? I'd open every season on the road in warm weather cities or domes, right?
Yeah.
Especially since you're opening a week early, right? So
I get that.
But it's gone. It's gone.
I like the later starts because I have to go to work and come home. So I don't get to sit around in my underwear all day.
I listen to it. You still listen to it. Don't lie to me. You're researching. I'm not going to throw you under the bus here about your work. I should. I
have firewalls.
It's your birthday. Not on your phone, you don't. All right. Josh Johnson.
Actually, yeah,
Josh Johnson. What a signing, Stevie Boy. Are you excited about that one? Backup quarterback.
They needed one. They needed somebody. So, I mean,
I don't think he's the backup quarterback.
He's not.
Everybody's acting like that's a done deal. It's a camp arm.
Yeah.
If they bring somebody else in, they're going to compete for it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was just another arm. Probably Cooper Rush. Price tag might be a little much.
That's where I'd go.
Hopefully Flacco's back, though.
That's where I'd go.
He knows the offense.
I'd go Flacco first. Because the bottom line is the way you built your team and what you think right now is you're good enough.
Yeah.
And you don't want another injury, and it could happen with Burrow to end your whole season, right?
Yep.
You're not going to – Cooper Rush could win enough games. Flacco sort of can.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson can't.
Yeah.
You're done if he comes in. If he's in, your season's over. I don't even understand the signing. Camp arm or not, I think it's just dumb. But whatever. Speaking of quarterbacks, Stevie Boy, they're in the news. NFL draft is starting to pick back up. March Madness, boo. Worst sport I've ever seen in my life is current basketball. Pro, college, high school, travel. Gather, travel. But so that's taking up a little bit of the news, but the quarterback frenzy. So it is silly season, Stevie Boy. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Silly season is in full effect, and then I'll give my rankings. People out there, legitimate, big name people, I wouldn't say legitimate. Some of them are legitimate. Are on the Ty Simpson train. Have you seen it?
I hope so.
Well, they're saying like the separation between Mendoza and Simpson's not much. It's far greater from Simpson into the third quarterback, which I disagree with. And I think I saw a clip. I didn't watch it because I don't watch McAfee, and I'm not going to rant on him. I just don't like it. Not my style. But I saw his headline on his YouTube channel, right? It's his YouTube channel. That it's not a done deal that Mendoza's going on. Watch out for Tyson. I'm not buying that.
I don't buy that.
That's clickbait nonsense. And Chase, what's his name? Dana, who's the backup quarterback forever. I know people that know him, that knew him and love him, right? Mm-hmm. I don't like him. Listening to him. He's always, Mr. Cool or whatever, but he's going nuts over Sims. Chris Sims, who I do like, is going nuts over him. He was hurt, and he kind of admitted, Sims did a good job interviewing him. I like Chris Sims. Put him in a corner. You were hurt. I know you're not going to talk about it. He's like, I'll give him credit for that. He didn't make the excuse. Well, I want to be out there with my guys, and Sims kept on him. Yeah, I had an oblique injury or something else, and he had to take antibiotics and it messed with his stomach. He was down to like 198. Sims said, I bet this is not my first radio or something. When I watched you, I told people he's lost a lot of weight. So maybe early in the season, he looked really good.
Yeah. I
just have a hard time.
He's got a big arm.
Somewhat, but he's so floaty in the pocket, right? Like he throws off his back foot. And his escapability in the pocket at a college level is very good. I don't think that's going to translate for him. I don't think he's a good enough athlete, right?
Right.
So bouncing around, throwing off the back, like there's one where he throws out the end zone. Chase Daniels going nuts over it. I'm going, he should have threw it to the tight end. Bam! Instead, he bounces around, jumps around, and then throws the tight end. That's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I'll say about him, when you look at Brock Purdy, he does kind of remind me of Brock Purdy. And I'm not the first one to say that, I'm sure. And you redraft that draft, Purdy was what? Was he Mr. Irrelevant? I think he was, right?
He was, yeah.
And you redraft that draft, he's a first-round pick.
Sure. Yeah.
And I watched Brock Purdy probably more than any quarterback outside of Ohio State because I like Matt Campbell, right? And I watched a lot of Iowa State games. Did I think he'd be this? Hell no. What I think it is Kyle Shanahan. And I think if Purdy's playing somewhere else, he's okay. I think if Mac Jones plays somewhere else is why I'd trade him by San Francisco. I don't even think he is okay. But Shanahan makes him, right? That's how I kind of see Simpson.
He's already proved that, right?
Yeah, if Simpson got, maybe in the right system. So here's mine, and I'm going to get bashed for this, and I'll welcome it. So I haven't went off the rails yet. I rarely line up, as you know. My draft guides over the years when I did them, I rarely lined up with everyone else. Everybody, Deshaun Watson's RPMs are too low. Josh Allen's completion percentage wasn't high enough. I had them both ranked high. And this has gone on and on and on. I usually see this position different than the national. And I do again. I knew I would. I would take Mendoza. Like Mendoza, I think I've got him ranked as my 17th or 18th best right now. And I'm going to share that next week on the Substack. Player, Mendoza. But he's a quarterback. And if you're the Raiders, I think you got to go there. I really do. Because I think he could be top 15, 16 quarterback in time. Do I think he's ever top 5, top 10? I don't. I don't think he's that type of quarterback. I definitely don't think Simpson is. So I've got Mendoza 1, Drew Aller number 2. And people are going to bash that and McShay and all, and his completion percentage. They said the same damn thing about Allen and many others. And they all went nuts over Baker Mayfield. That's who I see Ty Simpson as.
Yeah.
And Baker's good, right? He's top 15, 16, but he's not that elite guy. People jumped on him early. You better have everything right. Andy Dalton. Everybody always said during that time, they just need to get rid of Andy Dalton. I said, you can't do that. Like, that makes no sense. You got to have somebody better than him to get rid of him. Good luck.
Right.
And he was 16th, 17th best quarterback, right? That's where I see Simpson in them. I see Mendoza slightly better. I see Aller right in there, but the upside, if you take Drew Aller and put him in the system and let him sit a year, he's got the, I'll argue with any of them. The Arkansas quarterback, you could, in terms of just throwing it far, but making NFL throws, he's got the best arm. He's big, can move in the quarterback, in the pocket. Reminds me a little bit of Roethlisberger. He's not, you see Josh Allen comparison. Everybody was all over Aller a year ago and a year and a half ago, especially, saying he's going to be the number 1 pick. And the Josh Allen comparisons were everywhere. He's not the athlete Allen. He's not twitchy like Josh Allen. But arm strength and those subtle, when he moves a little bit in the pocket, you're going to have a hard time bringing him down, just like Roethlisberger. He's big and strong. He's young, man. He came out so young in high school. He's a young player. If I'm taking a risk on a quarterback, it's him, not Ty Simpson. There you go.
I think you can take a risk on either one in this draft. You know what I mean? Maybe not in the first round, but I mean,
somebody's going to come up and pick Simpson. I really believe it with the hype.
It won't be where we want. But,
no.
But
not going to help the Bengals. It'll help him in the second round.
Aller had some talent around him.
Not really. His receivers suck.
But I mean, I think he has.
He had Tyler Warner.
Yeah,
2 years.
Warner.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
But getting to the point was not great talent. So
and a bad system that didn't match.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Can't wait. What would you say? 33 days.
Yeah. So final point on Aller, like James Franklin put a system in that didn't. It was more like a Lamar Jackson read option system, right? Didn't fit him at all. And a lot of the analysts said the same thing, but they all jump out. They're prisoners of the moment. But an NFL guy who I'm talking about, we won't name him. He said you're crazy, Scott. I said, all right. I've been called that before. We'll see, right? We won't see next year. 2 years, 3 years from now, we'll see. And I think Aller's got a shot being the best of all of them. Like, that's where I'm looking. I take the John Gruden approach a little bit. I see the best of what they can do, and can I recreate that? And his best is better than the rest of their best. Even Mendoza, he gets shaky in the pocket, I think that's where I would go. We'll see. All right, moving to the Bengals. So we've seen what they've done. It's not enough for what you and I wanted, and most of the fan base, I think they're getting the same. I think they did okay, though, right? I think people want to go, just like with the Afroman case, people want to go hard one side or the other, and typically the middle ground's the right answer. I don't think they did I know they didn't do what you and I wanted to do, and I know they weren't great, but I don't think it was a horrible offseason either leading into the draft. I think it was okay. Maybe even slightly better than okay. But the question is Zach Taylor and his staff and the players, are they happy where they're at, what the moves they did? Or are they thinking, man, we could have done more? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think they're happy. Of course, they'll never come out and say that,
No.
right? And all the free agent talk, it pretty much led to a lot of the hype that we had was from their conversations, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To local media, to some national media. We thought they was going to go out and do more. But I think that's where the disconnect is between what they want and what they'll do. And like I said last week, I still think, I think the coaches, I think the front office they're just not in line with structure, salaries, and then what they need and what they have to do to get those players in the building. They're just not. They're not there. The disconnect is, I wouldn't say far from being together, because they did hit spots that they need to hit. They've upgraded on the defensive line total. They definitely upgraded at safety, but then that's it. Like they still got a little bit of an issue when it comes to the draft. So I've listened to some podcasts this week, and some of them are talking about how, but now they're not in the position to go BPA. Well, really, they got so many holes. They kind of still are. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing saying that Downs can't play 40% of his snaps at slot. There's nothing saying that they can't put him in a certain package to where he's still playing 700 or 800 snaps and still have Cook and even Battle or take Battle out and move guys around. So that's,
are they saying
really,
there's too many holes? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think that that's 100% true. I still think that they can go BPA even with what they've done in free agency because of still having some holes. Even linebacker, like if Sonny's there, and I'm really starting to think he's not going to be there.
No, he's probably not.
You know what I mean? And if he is there, well, I get it. You'd be starting another rookie linebacker, whatever. Well, you know what?
He's big time, though.
He's big time. And with the players that you have added, maybe he can make a difference. And honestly, maybe he would help the other two if he come in, which is kind of sad to say that he would be like the guy to come in and stabilize that room, but he might be.
And then that puts Carter as a role player, puts him on special teams.
And then if he takes a small step or a step, then you've got a reliable, backup, right?
And he's a 4th round pick. That makes kind of sense,
makes kind of sense. So, which is what they should have done with free agency.
Yeah.
That pushes him back, but now we're talking about a rookie having to come in and do it.
Yep.
So, there's some other guys.
Sonny can certainly do it.
We'll talk about probably later, 2nd, 3rd round that hopefully will be there. So,
I think and we'll get to the other holes here shortly. That's going to be a major topic there. Do you think Burrow's sitting back in LA or wherever he's at right now saying he's making the rounds? Like, I don't like him being out in the public eye so much, but he can do whatever he wants, right? I like the Bill Parcells type quarterback thing, right? Like and he is still under the radar, right? For what he could be, he could have his face on every commercial on the planet if he wanted to, honestly. The way he looks, the way he handles himself. So I appreciate that about him, right? Like Peyton Manning, my cousin of mine, always say, there's not a product that dude wouldn't hawk. People forget that, right? Like, he gets a reputation as a tireless worker, and I think he was, but Brady didn't do all that stuff in his prime, right? When he was coming up, later on he did, but in New England he'd have a few Boston commercials. But so I appreciate that about Joe. But do you think he's happy, or is he thinking, oh shit, we didn't do enough?
He's probably okay. And the man's got to live his life, right? And so happens he has a lot of money,
a ton of money,
and women are just going to flock over him, and they're going to be beautiful women.
Yeah, so, I don't think he's doing anything wrong.
No, it's just that, and it's hard.
He can't go anywhere without cameras on him.
Right. And so it's not like he's saying, "Hey, look at me."
No,
he's just trying to be out with the rest of freaking California, who are also superstars and athletes and people out there.
He's just living his life, and doing what he's got to do. So I don't have a problem with it. But here's something that we don't talk about. You think about this, like you hear this a lot in the NFL, arranged marriages, right? And it usually comes with some harsh criticism. Duke and Zach are an arranged marriage, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talk about that.
Right.
And guess what? Marvin and him it's just been one arranged marriage after another. And somehow Duke is always the guy that survives it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfathomable to me. I mean, it's like he's the owner, right? He's the adopted son. It's nepotism almost, and I do think he views him that way, Mike Brown and them, as his kid, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Family member. And it's completely an arranged marriage. So really, really weird. So, all right, moving on to the draft. The pro days are going on, Stevie Boy. They're everywhere. But what's weird to me is you're not seeing them covered like you did in years past, right? And I think it's because the quarterback's not driving this draft. Maybe next year, get this thing up and running. I can apply from the newspaper and try to get some credentials to some of Missouri's pro day was yesterday, I believe. I love Josiah Trotter, and I'm going to give you a couple of surprise rankings here after a while, but so Missouri, a lot of them are going on. Notre Dame's coming up. They're televising that one, of course, for the backup running back Price, but Love's not running, so there'll be a lot of guys there. So, all right, moving on. We'll talk about some pro days, later on. Some of those results are kind of interesting for guys that didn't run. I mentioned KC Concepcion. Whew, you seen
Love the name.
That dude, yeah, Davey loves him. In short space, dude, that guy he's going to be one of the, I guarantee his short area quickness and burst is as good as anybody in the NFL. He's a little bit smaller, but his leg drive, when he catches a pass, he looks like Jamar a little bit when we were trying to bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, I'm going to talk about the receivers another time there, but watch out on that guy. All right, what if the Bengals, hypothetical, we're going to go through a few scenarios here. What if the Bengals, your Cincinnati Bengals, truly went all in, signed Lloyd, signed JFM, along with their current signings? Oh, my goodness. You have the safety, Cook. You have Boye.
Mm-hmm.
You have Allen. We could say you have him or you don't. JFM. Now you come into the draft, maybe not really any glaring holes.
Yeah.
You get to 10, and you say, you know what? I love Sadiq.
Yeah.
Love Falls. Whoever. You could take whoever the hell you want. You could have took the offensive tackle from Georgia, who I love, and sit him, but they didn't go all in. So you agree with me right then? They could have went offense. They could have done anything they wanted if they signed the players that we just talked about. They didn't do it.
Absolutely. Lemon. Could you imagine Lemon?
Oh my gosh. He's my top-rated receiver. Mekhi Lemon is my top-rated receiver. So
yeah, it would again, it's probably what we should have expected. Just very, very aggravating. Just very aggravating. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens, but let's hope at least one of these guys falls. But
yep, we'll get to that.
Yep.
I've got Monroe Freeling as my 7th rated player overall out of Georgia. I think his upside. I've got 3 edge players in the top 6. Reese at 3, Bailey at 4, and Bain at 6. Right, so pretty crazy. And the guy I'll give you a couple of surprises for you, Stevie Boy. Anthony Hill Jr. I got him the 12th rated player. Just that's not waiting positions from Texas. And I mentioned him earlier, man. I love Josiah Trotter. I think he's a first-round linebacker, old school. He's downhill. He's off the ball linebacker. We'll see. I got Falk at 14. This is, for me personally, this is an offensive tackle edge class. And granted, some of these tackles are right tackles, right? And Fano even might move into potentially a guard or Mino. I think Mino plays guard. But this is a heavy at key positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be some players that move down, right? And you look at, I got Dylan Thieneman's top 10. I think this guy is a beast. I'm not saying he's going to go in the top 10. I'm saying 5 years from now, this is what I mean. This is where everything changes. 5 years from now, you go back and grade this draft, and all of a sudden you don't care if someone's a downhill linebacker. If Anthony Hill is Bobby Wagner,
yeah, who gives a damn?
5 years later, you're not saying, well, he was a downhill linebacker, and he's got 4 All-Pros. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. You see what I'm saying? They get caught up in that a little bit. I got Mekhi Lemon 13th, number 1 receiver overall. I think these receivers are all good. Mekhi, Carnell Tate, Boston. I got Boston ahead of Tate, then Tate 3rd. Jordan Tyson. I love Concepcion, who I mentioned. But all these guys, I don't know that any of them are that top end out of the gate. I think Lemon might be as a slot. And another guy like Pounds, right? Nickel. So those slot corners mean more now than they did 10, 15 years ago, right? So So I think this class is really good. So a lot of people don't. I do, and I think it's at key positions. It's just not the quarterback position. So all right. So that's been kind of cool. We didn't do it. So think about this. I think 3 of these are a given when you think about the Bengals perspective. I think Mendoza's gone. I think Reese is gone. I think Bailey's gone. I wish Bailey wasn't gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take him in New York second.
Me too.
But those 3 are gone. So there's 3. Jeremiah Love will go. There's 4. We need an offensive tackle to go, a receiver to go. There's 6. Guess what? They get one of the 4.
Yeah.
And if 2 of them go, 2 tackles or 2 receivers, and there is a chance of that, or a corner slides in, there's a chance of that. You're getting one of our 4.
Yeah.
And you're probably getting one of our 3.
Yeah.
So they're going to be there. The question is, are they the top 4 or the 3 for the Bengals? Or do they go Mansour Delane or the injured corner, who I like them both. Don't get me wrong. I got them both top 15. So the argument, you see what I'm saying? They're going to be there. What if they're not? Stevie Boy. What if Love's gone? What if all the guys we mentioned are gone? They don't hit the receivers. They don't hit the offensive tackles. And you come up, the big 4 we like are gone. Jeremiah Love's gone. You're on the clock. You have to pick it. The consensus around all these mock draft guys is, I don't understand this. You take the corner, and they keep saying they don't watch the Bengals. They keep saying, oh, you just pick a corner and put Dax Hill where he belongs in the slot. Wasn't that experiment tried, Stevie Boy?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't necessarily fail, but he proved that he can be outside, and that's just a more, and a spot where it's harder to find those outside guys, and if he's excelling there, but when you look at the Bengals, what are they thinking? One of the two, and instead of signing both, you sign one, you draft another one, you move Dax inside, you put him outside. And then that I'm not saying what I'm thinking.
I don't know the Dax. I think his body type. I don't think he's good inside, man. I just don't think.
Oh, he was fine enough, sure.
You think so?
But if you're not going to keep him and you're going to keep DJ, I mean,
you don't think they'll keep them both?
No, I think they'll keep them both. But if it comes down to this scenario, that's something that they could think or they have in their back pocket. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That. I still think it's probably corner or maybe Falk. I would not be pleased with Falk because I just wouldn't, but wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if you drafted a tackle, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be if there was nothing else there. If they drafted
those 4 guys are there and they
I'm tore to slap up, right? But if Thielman, Freeling, Sadiq, I mean, any of them guys I would probably be okay with if
Thielman,
if that wasn't, the case.
Yeah. If one of the 4 is there, then, you'd have to look at a trade down. Here's the thing about Falk. Here's the tough part. And looking in from, talking to people in the NFL and whatnot. Here's what they look at. So you got traits, right? You got athletic traits.
And you're saying we can't trade down either, right?
You could. I mean,
if someone wanted to come up and get one of them guys and you could go down to get, say, a Peter Woods from like 15 to 20.
I wouldn't touch him.
I mean, I get it. His draft day wasn't good, but
I just don't think he's that good of a player. Like, I've watched him over and over. He's like mid 40s to 50 for me. I don't see it. And I could be wrong.
His production was there early, but
it wasn't really there. You look at his time. I mean, he just didn't really do anything. And everybody went nuts over him and their edge. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I think, you look at Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Oregon who played at Purdue before that. He's a high safety, right? A ball hawking playmaker. You hear me, Stevie Boy? Like, if all those guys are gone and he's there, I'm taking him. I mean, I would take him over a corner. I just don't think Delane.
I would too.
They're risky, and I think you've got that, and he's way better than what Battle would be on the back end, right? And you can put Battle in that star position or nickel, whatever you want to call it, nickel linebacker, if that's the way you want to go.
Yeah.
But I think he's big time.
They're just their depth's not there. So, I mean, if something does happen, which is probably likely that one of these guys are going to be out a game or 2 or something, it's the way the league goes. I mean, they really don't have nobody. They really don't, corner-wise.
I think there's depth in this class, though, which would be my point. I'd much rather take a guy in the third round of this class than I would those two up that high. I'm not knocking either one of them. I think they're going to be solid corners, but I don't think they're top 10 draft pick corners, right? I just don't think they're that guy. And there's just not – Delane played well at LSU, okay at Vatech. The other guy's coming off an ACL injury from Tennessee. I
don't care for him.
You know, the guy from Michigan, Will Johnson, right? Remember him?
Yeah.
He looked good on tape. He came back from the ACL. How was he this year?
Mm-hmm.
And granted, he might be a great player and it might be a good pick this upcoming. What are you trying to do right now, though? Win. So a guy that you don't know about and probably can't play or maybe can't play, right? I just don't like that in this draft for the Bengals, given where they're at. Who knows, though? I think, like we said, if they'd address those needs, this looks a lot different. That Georgia tackle, man, I think, you know, you look at it back to what scouts and the GMs and stuff, you know, the conversations I've had and whatnot. Like, you got the foundation. This is how my draft stuff will look when you get on Substat. You got the athletic traits. And when they see those athletic traits, they say, hey, if a guy can do these 3 or 4 things at this position, he typically turns out to be this, right? And it can be a trap, but I get it. Like, I totally get that. I get the long arms even on that because you're looking at a wealth of history of what it takes to get your hands on a guy to do all that kind of stuff. And then you have the functional traits of the position. And a lot of times you get a coach specific or GM who's tenured, they see that and say, hey, I know where he played. I mentioned this before to you. I'm not mentioning the player who told me this. But they're going through players. I will mention the player. Abdul Carter. I'll just not say who told me. Abdul Carter, you listen to people from the NFL that I've talked to, like, they said that they saw him and knew what he was going to be. And it wasn't going to be much his rookie year. You bring him in, you don't play him a whole lot. Situational pass rusher. He didn't know what the hell he was doing with his hands. He didn't know how, you know, and that you didn't hear that from the media, did you? But look, after year one, what was it? They were right. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely right. So they see all that stuff, but they also say, hey, he wasn't coached, not knocking Penn State today, but he wasn't coached well at Penn State. I see his athletic traits. We get him in here, gain 10 pounds, work on his hands, and you know with Falk, what he is as a body type and the way he moves, that's rare, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, and it is an upside pick, which they did with Shamar, but this guy can play the run. You know, I wouldn't like it either, especially if one of the fours there. And maybe not even if they're not, I wouldn't like it. But 3 years from now, man, that guy might be a player. Yeah, he might be he's got everything you'd want. And he's a leader. He's a captain. You look at him teaching. If they picked him, I would understand why. But when that championship window is right now, I wouldn't get that piece of it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's a tough one. All right. You know, you got second round, you got Zion Young's going to be there too if they took somebody. And then what if they did pull? They won't. But what if they did take Sadiq? What if somebody in that room says, hey, this is a Hall of Fame tight end? They usually devalue that. They say, hey, this guy can do everything. I think he can. And they take him, and in the second round, you got Halsey, you got other safeties there. See, I don't know that Halsey will be there. He's my number 2 safety. Or the guy from Toledo's dropping, right? Like, what if you came out with Sadiq in one of those safeties? Would you be happy? You may not be after day one, the first round.
Yeah.
You leave round 2, and you got Kenyon Sadiq and either Halsey or the Toledo kid.
Yeah. See, it's because of the situation they're in because they're not there. Then you just got to kind of step back and punt, no pun intended, and say, hey, this is where we're at. Let's go. Let's back up and punt. Let's go a different route. I like Rodriguez, the linebacker.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I mean, he's consensus right there around there in the second round. So never know.
I'll tell you what I got him at real quick as I pull it up. If I can find him real quick. The list is getting pretty big here. The list is growing. My cursor's not working. Where's he at? I got him the 39th best player.
Yep. I think
that's pretty good.
What am I on here? I think I'm on PFSN. They got him at 40.
40?
Yep.
Where did I have him at 39? All right. So you look at it, there's a lot of players and he's his motor and he tested really well, dude. Mm-hmm. Like people kind of caught people by shock there, and his production's been outstanding. So a ton of defense talk, right? That's all you hear when you talk about the Bengals. Hey, there's another side of the ball. It's their side of the ball, offense. They're not perfect over there like everyone thinks, right?
Nope.
There's some holes there. What do you think they need to address on offense? And then I'll give some players I like. heading into this 2026 NFL draft?
I think the biggest need is slot corner. Slot receiver.
Yep. Nobody talks about it.
No, Yoshi just didn't do it last year, and I get it. I mean, quarterback, Joe come in, Flacco that is, and he had to learn a lot in a short period of time. So who did he rely on? The two best receivers on the team, right? There's going to be 4, 5, 6 games there where he's still, getting his footing, and I mean, you're talking about a lot of stuff like the huddle, snap counts,
completely new to
the
the
offense,
team.
you learn how these guys are running routes, where they want the ball. Like, there's so much to learn, and I'm sure Yoshi was one of the last ones. He's like, okay, Yoshi, what do you want? And then Joe comes back. Of course, what's he doing? He's come back off injury, so he's like, hey, where's my 2 guys at? Where's Gesicki at? So, I mean,
he was. I think I told you I did 5 games on him.
You said it.
I did 5 games on him, and his route running was off.
And for what they've gotten out of him, you know what I mean?
For where he was drafted,
yeah.
But
right.
Again,
right,
you're trying to win a championship,
which is why now as I'm there. Eric All is already ready. He gave the thumbs up. And that was, I think, last week.
I like that guy.
You've got some time, dude. He's got some time to even get more healed.
He talked to us and stuff at camp. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. So you get him back. He's a do-it-all. He's a hell of a blocker, and he can catch the ball. So, I mean, we can't not factor him in, but I still think slot receiver is probably their biggest need on offense.
If All was healthy, he's the best tight end on their team, but I just don't know he's ever going to be healthy,
right.
man. That's a lot of knee banging, man. That's tough injuries, multiple times.
Yep.
Usually just to look at Penix, right? It just usually that does not go well. But hoping for the best there. Here's a guy I like, Antonio Williams, receiver out of Clemson. Reminds me a little bit of Tyler Boyd. I think he would be an immediate upgrade there. Some other guys. Here's a guy. I'll give you a few players I like here. Eli Raridon. You and I watched him, Raridon from Notre Dame, that giant tight end. I think he's got some upside. Joe Royer from UC, of course. Kalen Black, running back from Indiana. I don't know if that was true or not. He's been linked. The Bengals talked to him, but he's back at roster. I like him.
Yeah.
Katron Allen, the running back for Penn State's probably too rich for where they're going. Eli Heidenreich, Navy. Watch tape of him later, or highlights or whatever. He's a slot receiver. They label him as running back. He's not. He ran the ball some. Receiver from Navy. Physical guy. He's quick. He tested really well. I like him. I like Josh Cameron from Baylor, but he's not really. He's more of an out guy. Maybe they go a burner like that Deion Burks who lit up the combine from Oklahoma, right?
Right.
You don't like. I would have signed Calvin Austin. I wouldn't have signed Wayne Dale for Robinson for the amount that they would have to pay him. Guy like on offense, I think they need to address an offensive line later too, right? Trey Zahn from Texas A&M, Pat Coogan from Indiana, and of course, for reasons off the field, I want Jennings Dunker there in his red head mullet.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
It'd be cool.
Flown out of the orange, that giant red there. He can play, but he's probably a little too. He might go 3rd round. I don't think. Who knows though? I mean, if they hit the defense 1st and 2nd round or whatever, I don't think Clemson receiver will be there, but he might. The speeders will, and maybe you get a guy like him. You can get guards and centers that are really good in the 3rd round. So I think they need to hit those spots back up.
I do too. And then you factor in like something that we have been used to here lately is you think, okay, they've got the 10th pick in the 1st round. Well, guess what? They're picking early in every round.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So just remember that, and there's going to be a lot of talent every time they pick. It's just that will they pick the right ones, and will they pick the ones that's going to help the football team?
Yep. And you need some grinders on this team still. We've talked about this for years, right? I still think they're lacking those junkyard dogs. The guy you mentioned, Rodriguez, is a junkyard dog, right? When Pratt came in, we'll talk about Logan in a second, but when Pratt came in, he was a junkyard dog, right? That guy could play, could hit.
Strip.
Oh, he's a physical player. They're missing that, right? And not just at linebacker. I think across the board, they just need some grinders. What the old offensive line, glass eaters. Yeah. But ironic, it's weird too. You draft guys like Hubbard, Logan Wilson, early retirements on both. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
Logan just fell off the cliff in a second, didn't he? It had to be injuries and stuff, but I like Logan. He was one of my favorites when he was there. I like the way he played.
Yeah. Congratulations for him, before retiring. He was a good player. He still didn't hold. So,
yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, but it's probably my fondest memory. I think he had a game at Chicago. I think he intercepted a couple balls, a batted ball. Then he went back on like a cover 2 deep ball that he intercepted.
He could play.
Yeah, he could play. I think his first 2 or 3 years he had like 11 or 12 interceptions. You know what I mean? So for a linebacker,
always around the ball.
Yeah. So yeah, going to miss him, but I mean it is what it is. These guys they get older, and then you talk about the junkyard dog effect. When you lay everything on the line every play and you hustle like that every play,
it's rough.
It's rough. It
you look at Wagner and those guys have lasted forever, and he plays that way.
And there's just rare breeds.
They are.
Not everybody can do that.
No, very few.
And that's the difference between the elite and a really good player.
Yep.
Right?
And as a team recognizing that, right? You gotta recognize that with Hubbard. They see him every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were late. It was a big surprise here. The Bengals were late on something, late to the party.
Yeah.
But they were late to the party on both of them, right? They didn't see it until the impact was already there, right?
Yeah.
They didn't address it. It's tough. All right, let's do some mock drafts. Look around here, boy. What was that? What was that, Steve? Did you hear something?
I have no idea. I think my chair.
Oh, squeaky chair, man.
Mm-hmm.
Squeaky chairman. Chad Reuter. I never like his drafts, to be honest with you, Chad. No offense, Chad. But I don't like your drafts, and guess what? I don't like them this year either. I can't find the link. There it is. So Chad Reuter from NFL.com, he does some of the weirdest stuff. He's got the Jets trading up for Simpson in the middle of the first round. Could have Mendoza, Reese, Maya Noah going to the Cardinals, David Bailey to the Titans, Maya Love to the Giants with Scattaboo, but he's a lot better than Scattaboo. Might be a good one too.
It's coming off injury.
Oh yeah, Monroe Freeling, who again my top tackle, to the Cleveland Browns. Oh, Washington Commander, Sonny Styles. Kedrick Falk at 8th. I wouldn't be surprised, man. It'd be good for him. All this goes our way. You see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mansour Delane, Cincinnati over Reuben Bain. I'd be so mad. I would be. And here again, Dax Hill can stay in the slot. You didn't watch the team, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay in the slot.
No, he played outside. Yeah, they just don't watch the team. And I get it. And you're covering 32 teams. We'd probably make the mistake too, maybe. But come on. Eric Edholm from NFL Network. Reese, Bailey, all the same at the top. Love to the Titans. Sonny Styles to the Giants. Kind of the same. Francis Manoa to the Browns. Carnell Tate. So receiver makes it. Bain to the Chiefs. And Mansour Delane to the Chiefs. Sorry, Bain to the Saints. Caleb Downs to your Cincinnati Bengals. You happy?
God, man, would I be happy.
Did you buy his jersey? I will buy his jersey.
Yeah, sure.
I'm buying his jersey.
I'm especially Bain.
They draft any of the 4. You know what, Reuben Bain? I don't mean it as an insult. He looks like a guy from the 80s.
Yeah.
He talks like a guy from the 80s.
Yeah.
He looks like somebody should be on Buddy Ryan's Bears defense.
Yeah. He could eat metal.
Yeah. That dude's he's not a glass eater. He's a metal eater.
Metal eater.
Mendoza, Mel Kiper Jr. I always think of Caliendo. Mendoza, the Raiders, Bailey, the Jets. Be something Mendoza didn't go to the Raiders one. I'd love it. Chaos, right? There's going to be chaos. Everybody thinks these top 5 is what it is. It's not going to be. I guarantee it won't be. And I'll bet on it somehow, some way. Dams to the Giants. Freeling to the Browns. Sonny Styles to the Commanders. Tate to the Saints. That's a popular pick. Reuben Bain to the Chiefs. I would hate that. Mansour Delane to the Bengals. Boo, Mel, cut your hair, you smuck. Daniel Jeremiah's 3.0. I don't mind Jeremiah. Mendoza, the Raiders. Reese, Maya Noah. Man, I think if you pass on David Bailey and you take Mono, I think you're going to regret that one. Jeremiah Love to the Titans. Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Reuben Bain. David Bailey falls all the way to 8th.
7.
If he falls all the way to 8th, I'm trading up for the Bengals and getting him. Bailey. No joke.
Well, if any of them guys are there, I'd trade up to get them if they're that close.
So
especially if you want to go ahead of the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. So the Chiefs take Fano, and the Bengals get Caleb Downs, which we like.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there at 10. The only guy you like left, or you go to the 8th. You got the Saints up at 8th. You got Bailey and Downs on the clock. 2 picks in front of you. I'm trying to trade up right there.
Yeah.
They won't. I would.
I would too.
And I'd take Bailey or Downs. I wouldn't leave it to chance that the Chiefs don't take who I want.
Yeah.
You know the Saints are going to take one of those 2, or you think.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I would take it. But it worked out in this scenario, but it may not if you sit back, right? That's what I would do. All righty. So that's
be nice.
And the last one, Josh Edwards. This was 4 days ago from CBS Sport Jalen Waddle got traded to the Broncos. Broncos are going for it.
They are.
Yep, that's what you want.
That's how you do it.
Yep, Mendoza, Reese, Bailey, which I think that's how the top three goes. Sonny Styles, the Titans, Jeremiah Love.
That
To the
so
Giants.
far, that's probably very possible.
Yep. Styles to the Titans. You got Salah, but I wonder if he's thinking I've been through the quarterback mess at the Jets. I got to help my quarterback. I think that's going to be the philosophy there.
Yeah,
I think they'll go
too.
Offense. Monroe Freeling, again, a popular pick. Ruben Bain to the Commanders. Carnell Tate, big pick to the Saints. Francis Maunoa to the Chiefs. So it works out where Caleb Downs again to the Bengals.
3 out of the 5 we got Downs.
Then you got Delane at 11th and McCoy to the Cowboys at 12. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys try to trade up and get whoever they like there, given what they've been through, right? I think.
They got some picks too.
Oh, yeah. So the all-in, I'm not going to say it. I titled that, and we got flagged a little bit on Apple or Spotify. Rated us different, like a movie rating. We got rated a little different. Not like it didn't ding us. It wasn't rated PG anymore because of the ASS. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What's that WAP, whatever that stupid song is? They play all that stuff, and they're rating it. What a world, Stevie Boy. What a world. So as we stand right now, is Caleb Downs your number one option for the Bengals?
Let's go.
I will buy his jersey the day they draft him. If it's him, if it's Reese or Bailey, one of them fly off.
Will you buy me one?
Sure. I don't have any defensive jerseys in there. I got Jamar and 2 Burrows.
Yeah, I've got
a black and an orange. A black and white Burrow and an orange Chase.
I've got 3 Burrows, 2 Chases.
Damn, boy.
But I got 1 Burrow.
hanging, right?
Yeah, I got 1 Burrow hanging, 1 Chase hanging.
Yeah. So, if they take Bailey, Reese, Bain, Downs, Styles, any of those guys, I'm buying a jersey. Hell,
yeah.
They take Mekhi Lemon, I'm buying his jersey.
I hope they let him wear the numbers they want to wear, because the Bengals are weird about that too.
Yeah.
Like 0 and linebackers wearing low numbers and stuff like that. Let them wear what they want to wear.
They don't care anymore than the NFL does. It used
I
to,
know, but the Bengals did.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add on your birthday, boy? Fine like wine, 49.
We're going to go home and do a little bit of work outside and wait for everybody to show up. We're going to have steak and pasta salad and potatoes, and it's going to be fun. And some beers.
Beer.
I'm gonna stop and get me some Cincy Light.
How many beers you gonna drink?
Infinity.
Infinity plus Infinity.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy, you're so stupid. What's that from?
I got all day.
Oh, Billy, you're so stupid. You're supposed to say
That's White Man Can't Jump.
Infinity plus Infinity. Or whatever she said. All right, take us home, big boy, birthday boy.
Everybody have a good weekend. It's going to be really beautiful out. Spring is coming.
Spring is sprung.
The draft is coming. The league here is already here. Free agency is pretty much done. We'll see what happens. There's cuts coming, still happening.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's kind of...
Trades are going to happen before the draft, too.
Sure,
I guarantee it.
Sure. Looks like the Bengals probably going to get a compensatory pick, so they're probably happy as hell. But with all that being said, also traffic, stay to the right. Peace out.
Out.
Voices rise.